Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Let everybody hear. So establish ourselves in awareness. Let's extend through our bodies, down to the earth. To the sky. Then we can extend to each other. Then we'll extend to our friend Marilyn. The light meets the light. We'll just rest like this for a little while. We'll just rest in this field. Extending to her. Inside to inside. Following Yongdang Rinpoche's instructions about what he called the absolute compassion, will extend to her in the present, in her transition, and then we'll extend to her past. Then we'll extend to our future. And the light comes back to us. I'm going to read one or two little selections from Accomplishing the Purpose of Being Throughout Space. This is a text that Yongdang Rinpoche teaches, and it's from his previous incarnation as Dorje Denshin Lingpa that this text came through. on a lotus and a moon, our self-nature appears as Avalokiteshvara. Clear white, luminous white, and with the right hand in the mudra of giving protection. And the left hand holding a lotus to the heart and resting with both legs in the half lotus posture. And the center of the heart is marked with a white Hari, seed syllable Hari. And it's surrounded by the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. So meditate upon this yoga of the great compassion. The great openness. I'm going to read an instruction at the end of this text given. If your comprehension is unclear and your understanding is not clear, then recognize that all appearances are the embodiment of Avalokiteshvara. And experience this free of grasping. How astonishing to behold pure awareness of the embodiment of the emanation, Namanakaya, flesh. And all sounds are the speech of Avalokiteshvara. So know the meaning of the empty sound, free from grasping. How astonishing, how amazing to behold the pure awareness in the embodiment of the rapture, the Sambhogakaya. All conceptual patterns of our mind are the mind of Avalokiteshvara. Remain at ease in penetrating primordial awareness. Remain at ease in penetrating primordial awareness. And remain at ease in penetrating primordial awareness in the moment of death. How astonishing, how amazing to behold the pure awareness of the embodiment of the truth, the Dharmakaya. And these instructions were given by Dorje Denshin Lingpa. And it really is really good to know that someone we know and love, actually anyone we know, as the door opens to the deathless state for them, it also opens for us the same Dharmakaya, the same vast, luminous space, pure awareness. So we remain at ease in penetrating primordial awareness. I always like that dream I had, I mentioned this last Friday, where I'm actually sitting here and have this dream, and over there by Shiva, there's Swami Muktananda, and that little, what do you call that, behind Shiva, that screen is between him and someone else. So I can see Baba, but I can't see the other person. And they're laughing and talking about death. Two old guys. And Baba's laughing and saying, oh, to try and cross that with our minds alone, it's an abyss. It's totally impossible. And yet, with awareness, it's just so thin, so near. No distance whatsoever, huh? And then the other person was laughing with him and saying, it's so much easier with this understanding, huh? So much easier. So much easier. So when I woke up, I loved that dream. I really took it to heart. And then a little while later, the phone rings from a friend and telling us that Kunzang Dechen Lipa had died that evening. Huh? A great, great Dzogchen master who we knew and loved him. But it is true, huh? We face the loss, the absence with our mind. And it's just absence, gap, space. And then as we lean through awareness itself, that presence arises. Longchenpa, in one of those treasures, I think it's the one, Abiding, the Way of Abiding, his first chapter is on absence. On absence, huh? And how the pervasive sense of absence, not simply psychological, profoundly existential absence, arises from both around death and in all manners and forms, absence, loss. And then he describes how absence itself is the doorway into the Dharmakaya. Absence itself is the doorway into primordial awareness, into the light. And how to enter that absence, moving through it, experiencing it, tolerating it, not simply psychologizing it, huh? Opens up everything. The Way of Abiding, Longchenpa. It's a most beautiful chapter. In one's heart, in the center, there's a 6-petaled lotus. There's the white Hri, luminous syllable vibrations, surrounded by 6 syllables circling clockwise, from which light radiates, offering this to all the divinities and cleansing the obscurations of beings, and then gathering back and dissolving into us. The full potency, the light. It's also great that there's a wonderful Lama in town, Dragmar Khentrul Rinpoche, at Jetsuma's monastery. And there'll be empowerments and teachings starting Thursday and going through Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday and all the way through. Just want to mention one or two. On Saturday at 11 o'clock, there'll be the inner Mahayana teachers of Rangsampa, who we love a lot here, on the internal Mahayana path. That would really be great if you could go to that. Just get a glimpse of those teachings and the transmission that comes through the teacher, the great yogi, is really, really great. It'll be a continuation, right. And then at 3 o'clock, there'll be the 100 Deities Empowerment, or the Citro Mantra Empowerment, which actually Lama Norla gave. But also it's great to do that. That's possible for you at this time, because it really is on the Bardo and how the deities support us, and or the Bardo. Then, that's on Sunday. At 7 o'clock, I'm sorry, you're right, 7 o'clock, there's the continuation of the Mahayana teachings of Rangsampa's internal Mahayana path. And he was the person who wrote the book on the divinity of appearance. He also has some texts, which actually I'll be touching a little bit today, on gnosis of the mind and gnosis of awareness, and how there is a gnosis of a mind, direct perception of the mind, as the mind is assimilated, to use their frame, into gnosis, or since it is, or gnosis illuminates it, huh? Then on Sunday, at 3 o'clock, there's also other program, I'll put this outside, but there's also teachings on the energy systems, okay? And empowerment on the energy systems and teachings on the energy systems. The empowerment's 3 o'clock on Sunday, and then Monday, and then there's also on Sunday is the teachings on the 100 deities of the Shritam mantra. And then Monday, there's teachings on Salung, which is the energy channels and that. So that's really great if you can do that. Then many other programs, a Chod Puja, okay, but also 100 deity puja, many pujas. So there's really some great rituals, but also the Vajrakalaya practice on Saturday. And this is one reason I want to continue our little seminar. Often we stop in August, but this is a very exquisite time right now. The yogis say that, lamas say that, astrology. There's something very powerful about this particular time. Huh? It's not easy. There's a lot of conjunctions of intensity. It's intense. It is intense. And with all that intensity, there's a vast amount of light, huh? And vast amount of openness. So that's why I'd like us to, if you can, you come. And you don't have to come. You can, if you want to come, you can come. That's why at the end of each session I'll say who will be here next week, and we have enough people who'll do it, okay? So it's a very powerful time. And and it affects everyone right now. So we'll just focus in just for a few more minutes. So we're going to go into last week, and then we'll just work together, maybe with the field today. But just another little bit of a talk. So last week, we were discussing, and I'll pick this up again next week, the mind and awareness, huh? And knowing that difference in the Nyingma tradition. So I just want to say a little bit more to start off with. And all this stuff is talking very informally about it. But there's like two big ways, two paths, if you wish, whether it's Western philosophy or Eastern philosophy. And one way, a popular way, perhaps one of the most ancient ways, is neti, neti, neti. Neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this, not this, and not this, and not this, and not this, and not this. And a contemporary person would be Derrida. Have you heard of Derrida? Derrida? Famous French philosopher, who was the father of deconstructionism, where you deconstruct experience. You deconstruct language, you deconstruct experience, and influence a lot of people, influence psychoanalysis, the deconstruction part, the taking apart of everything till there's nothing left, okay? So, it's a transcendental approach. You deconstruct. It's like the paramita. Huh? It's not eyes. It's not ears. It's not nose. There's no mother. There's no father. There's no brothers. No sisters. There's no this and that. Right? Right? There's no emptiness. You deconstruct everything. Huh? Certain forms of Vedic. Do it this way, you deconstruct everything. The only thing that is left is pure transcendental awareness, right? Say yes if this is making sense. Mm-hmm. Very powerful, very useful, okay? And you'll see this in many of the transcendental. Early Husserl did this also. He was a transcendentalist he started off with, huh? Not this, not that, not this, not that. And then you wind up with nothingness, no thingness as pure awareness, huh? Like the vast witness. And that's the other way is more like yes, 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 and yes again. It is this, it is that, it is this, it is that, it is this, it is that. Or where does Shiva not exist? Huh? Where does Shiva not exist, to use that language? So it's another approach. It is this, it is that, yes, yes, yes. And these two approaches, it's actually great to know both of them and be able to experience both of them, huh?
Did the Deconstructionists get to the essence of light?
You know, what's so interesting is you follow some of these people, and in my opinion, they do. They do. You know, as Lama Nola was talking last week, it's a very singular activity, huh? And there's different ways you can enter into it, but ultimately, there's no one way. Dalai Lama speaks about that too. There's no one way of realization, of becoming. There's cultural ways and personal ways, and it's great to know both ways. And the other way, you'll see that from the Hindu point of view, you see it in Kashmir Shaivism, which they call a realistic monism, huh? As different from monistic idealism, and where phenomena is it. That statement I was reading from Young Rinpoche about the appearances or the manifestation, or love of Avalokiteshvara. You guys feel these two big? You see these streams over and over again. Okay. We're going to hang out for a little bit. Yes, please.
My experience with that is I started meditating and nothing.
Yeah.
There's always this little thing in the back of my mind that says, well, when I get rid of all of it, what is there? And to me, it seems that it was sequential. Eventually, I got to the point where what is there is in everything. So it's like I close down to all these things and get to the pure oneness, and then I come back and visit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That is another way of looking at it, right? You find out no thingness, and then you experience the no thingness in everything and anything. In anything. We'll focus with that for a moment. Spence is in here today because Spence brought this up for me last week, so I was going to talk about it, but I'll talk about it anyway since I prepared a little bit, and that's on the difference between fantasy and the imaginal from a certain point of view, and imagination as central, very important to gnosis. Okay? And some of this also is from Ramchampa a bit. So we're going to talk about imaginal, okay? So some sort of way, maybe more from phenomenology. Phenomenology is sort of like, to my own Dzogchen, sort of in between realism and idealism. It's all not simply ideas. It's all not just my own mind manifesting everything. Wish that could be so. More, please. And neither is it realism, because from this point of view, realism is the world of thingness, just dense thingness. Huh? My mind's a thing, you're a thing. It's just a realm of mechanistic thingness. Huh? There's thingness, or there's ideas. Huh? But actually, it's more in this intermediate area, this in-between area, this space, knowingness as space, that phenomenology attempts to situate itself in eventually. And then experiencing everything and anything through this spaciousness. You guys follow what I mean by this? Knowingness as space, luminous space. Winnicott had the same issue too. Winnicott was preoccupied with why people don't change. And some people change enormously, and some people don't change at all. And he would begin to see how, and he would watch how people could enter what he called transitional space, and they weren't so located in their mind, they weren't so located in thinking or sensation or memory or fantasy, but they would locate themselves in what he called transitional space. And he would think that sometimes people had to learn how to hold that space, so there's transitional objects, or we learn how to use people and phenomena to be able to invoke that space. Which he actually said, that's the sense of self. This sense of self that arises, this sense, this spacious sense is the self. Huh? I was reading Dzogchen books on the side, but they weren't exactly translated then. But I like the convergence, right? So the sense of space arises, and so to have people enter transitional space would actually help them facilitate change. You know, to use another language, to have them become aware. First of all, to become aware of their own mind and not be so located in their mind is quite a jump when you realize you're not quite your mind. Do you remember that day when you had a glimpse of not being quite your mind? Then a lot of freedom begins to open. Freedom is emerges, right? And then, as a person becomes aware of their own awareness, first they're aware of their mind, and so you witness your mind, huh? And as in doing that, you establish yourself more and more in awareness, and then you become aware of awareness itself, and it begins to open up. And then you try and live, as he would say, in transitional space. You with me? And also, if you happen to be in the wonderful work of therapists, to be in transitional space is really, really enhancing of what takes place. And he pretty much stops there. But in the yoga and in masters, and also in phenomenology, they begin to realize there's field phenomena, that this space opens up and it goes beyond the body. It's not simply within the body. And it becomes, in the felt sense, that a field emerges. This field starts opening up. And then you can experience everything and anything through the field, including your mind, including your affects. And it's powerfully integrative. It is powerfully integrative, and it helps dissolve essential fragmentation. Say yes if that's making sense. Husserl started off that way also, and he started to think that the mind constituted everything, so he wanted to see how we constitute everything. So he tried to give, this first was called the epoche, well, how to free myself from every opinion and every prejudice. First he realized he couldn't do it, and then he realized he was simply locked in mentalism. So then he took what he called the second reduction, and he began to focus on his own subjectivity, his own inner awareness. And then he said, then he would teach every class with this statement: what is the wonder of all wonders? Pure awareness. And the doorway is our own subjectivity, huh? So that doorway began to open up for him the field of awareness itself and the field of being itself. So a student, Heidegger, also leaped into this in a certain way, where he began studying this awareness of awareness in this world, this being in this world, and what that was like, And then Merleau-Ponty also came along with beginning to study by entering awareness. They would actually begin to feel the sense of beingness in themselves and others, but also they began becoming, how can we experience being itself in and of itself, huh? And then you have this unfolding of this desire to experience being itself. Then Heidegger comes along and starts to realize, in his later Heidegger, early Heidegger, later Heidegger, he had a few terrible times in between, because everything fell apart for him. And he began to realize that being itself is not a being, but being manifests all the beings and manifests the beingness of being, not unlike the Dharmakaya, right? And we're now going to talk about the imaginal. So in this narrative of phenomenology, the imagination is a mode of perception. Many people before this would make imagination and perception not the thing. Even Sartre, imagination is my own contrivance. I'm imagining all these images in my mind. It's kind of a cognitive behavioral thing, but it's all in my mind. I'm creating all these things, and if I find some good techniques, I can maybe bring them into reality. But basically, imagination and fantasy are identical. Say yes if that makes some sense. Got it? Imagination, for him and for many people, imagination and fantasy are identical, just a fantasy. And then Winnicott also would work on this, and as some of the Jungians also influencing, that you want to go beyond fantasy, which is simply a cognition, a fanciful object in the mind, an image, the play of images. And if you enter into awareness, you enter in transitional space, then the function that holds fantasy becomes imagination. And then you can begin to see through the imaginal function. The imagination becomes an organ of perception. Say yes if you just... So in a certain way, the imagination becomes an organ of perception. Much of this is Merleau-Ponty was influenced because he studied Cézanne, Rosin, he studied French painters and French art a lot, and began to see this as not just, oh, I see this and then I conjure it up in my mind. This is like a sensation influenced me, or smell influenced me, then I whip this up in my mind, and if I'm really good at it, you'll buy it for lots of money. Okay? Rather, he would spend time and they were perceiving what was invisible or visible to them and bringing that forth into visibility. Say yes if that makes some sense to you. So that's where we're going now. So in the mechanistic realism alone, the perceiver and the perceived are things and mechanistic things. Huh? There's information and there's experience, but everything is concrete and stimulus bound. It's a dense way to be. It's very, very locked in. I bet you've felt that sometime, right? Locked into mind alone, and you're starting to feel the density of your own self, the density of your thoughts, the density of the world. And what occurs is a vast sense of burdenness and no freedom. There's no space. You can't go anyplace. And you actually start to feel like you have a shell on your body, like an artistic shell or a suit of armor. And it becomes more and more weighty. And you can't breathe through. The body pours and stops. And there's no energy, there's no air, there's no life force coming. It's quite terrible. So, in the most profound sense, the imagination, so now we're going into imagination. Imagination is a mode of perception and a mode of being in the world. And by world we actually mean the universe, a mode of existing, huh? A mode of relatedness to phenomena, to each other. In the most profound sense, one sees and knows through imaginal relatedness. So one knows and sees through the imaginal. And one sees, just as you and I see and notice through senses, touch. I see through touch. My perception moves through touch. It moves through embodiment into the different dimensions. from non-dual to dual. So one knows through the senses, and one sees and knows directly through the gnosis of perception. So I'm beginning to think, imagination is an organ of perception. It's a mode of perception. It's a mode of awareness. Just notice how you feel when you start to feel and think that way. It's not a fantasy. It's like, oh, I'm just fantasizing that you're here. Oh, I'm fantasizing this. It's just a fantasy. It's not that sort of wish. Though imaginal is also closely aligned to desire, in sense that imagination arises out of fullness. And in these traditions, imagination arises out of fullness, desire arises out of fullness, and not simply absence or emptiness in a contrived way. Imagination is a multidimensional perception. It is knowingness manifesting in the different perceptions. Through imagination, we can perceive and experience potentiality. But don't lock imagination into images. Do not simply lock them into images. Do not lock them into images. It is not a function of copyright. Imagination can perceive potentiality. If you and I are perceiving just a sense of potential right now, what happens to us? What happens to us? What happens when you perceive potential in the moment? Freedom. You feel the freedom arises. Openness arises. Space arises. Possibility arises. Change arises. Not even change of the facticity, the bad news, but change within my own self. Change in the experiencer. Imagination. Imagination. The imagination, not fantasy, but when I'm in awareness and the imaginative function is integrated, I see the vibrations of phenomena. I hear the vibrations of phenomena. I'm seeing through my whole body like Avalokiteshvara. I'm experiencing the vibration. That's why I paint with my whole body. That's one of Merleau-Ponty. One acts with the whole body. When we're practicing speaking from awareness, what do? We suspend our mind, put it aside, and we go into awareness. We have to pause. We get a little anxious, and we pause, and we enter into what our body's perceiving, the sound. Initially it's soundless, and then it becomes vibration, and it goes vibrate. Then words start to emerge, Signifiers. If I go to my mind alone, I'm going to have signifiers alone, No power there. Copy. If I'm feeling the vibration of the word, then the word that becomes a signifier, voice, sound, has power, has movement. Say yes if you're understanding that, right? So the same thing, we can look at imagination being that function, not a thing, but that function that uses the body and the experience of body. I'm viewing this face right over there, and I experience this face on one level mentally. I can experience Laura's face mentally, but I can also, by going into my body, into the awareness of awareness, I can feel the vibration, and out of that vibration, slowly but surely emerges perhaps a word or an imaginal knowing about, or of her, not about her. There's no distance, of her. You follow what I'm saying? So imagination is an elaboration of the field of awareness in the world. You don't have to believe any of this, but imagination sees vibrations of phenomena It experiences the vibrations. You can experience the vibration in lots of ways, but with the imaginal function, as you and I experience the vibrations, and we perceive the forming of phenomena, it will start having elementalness. It'll have color and shape and smell and tones and emotions. It starts creating experience. Say yes if this is making sense. You have to agree with it. Imagination's not a fantasy. A lot for fantasy from this view is dissociativeness. A lot of people waste a lot of time in fantasy. Just tons of fantasy. And nothing much happens. Can have its own intrinsic reward up to a point. Then it starts losing potency. So just a good thought may actually not bring anything for you. Or a wish, a mental wish will bring you this is what I want, yes, this is my wish. But it's in my mind. It just sits there, slowly but surely decaying. Fantasy is a dissociative state. Some of us live in a dissociative story, waiting for it to happen, right? There's a little parallel story. I might be talking to you right now, but I have this parallel story going on. That's where I go to most of the time, right? A parallel story. Parallel life, nothing happens whatsoever. No potency there. This is not a bad day, don't. But just think about it that way and don't take that route. You following me by that? So not self-contained in mind alone. Fantasy self-contained in my mind alone. Imagination just pushes and stretches. Just like when you feel the energy stretching your body, you feel this cheer. It does it with your mind. It does it with your language. It opens us. So perceiving the forming of phenomena, imagination perceives. It is awareness itself penetrating into manifesting spaciousness or the energy, the light formingness. There's there's a kind of material phenomenology. I might call it flesh phenomenology. Where you perceive into stuff. Oh, foot, toes, paper, leaf, light, bulbs, earth, smells. There's a material phenomenology that perceives materiality in its elementalness. So it's not just materiality, it's materiality in its elementalness. It experiences it elementally. So one discussion of this will be very logical, and the logical discussion won't tap this because it's in its elementalness. And the elementalness. Imagination is psyche. It's not just our mind, it's psyche. And there's this kind of, psyche kind of is a crossover. It's a crossover with gnosis, primordial gnosis, and gnosis of the mind. Psyche lives in both worlds, even if you never heard little talks like this about. Psyche is in both worlds. Psyche is in primordial awareness, and psyche is in mind at the same time. Psyche crosses both worlds. Say yes if that makes some sense to you. And so, imagination is psyche perceiving worlds from the view of psyche, which is not mind or a state of mind. It is not an ego state. It is not your favorite ego state. Psyche is perceptualness, perceiving, knowing the world in its vibrational manifestations. That's why there's a felt sense, there's some kind of bodily felt sense that slowly but surely becomes whatever is being brought forth by imagination. Elementalness. It's interesting too that Dakinis are described as elementalness also, right? Maharinisa Siddhihung. So you can just play with this. Can you imagine it? Imaginal knowing is gnosis, knowing the elementalness of phenomena. The imaginal knowing is not about mental imaging or the play of images at the surface level or fantasy pictures. But imaginal knowing penetrates, enters the depth and nuance of phenomena, of the beingness of phenomena, in its unfolding manifestation, and its coming forward. That's why there's always this co-emergent process on the imaginal level. Something's emerging there, it's in there, you can feel it emerging. The invisible becoming, and on the other side, they're perceiving it through a co-emergent process. Say yes if you follow that a bit, whatever it is. I know a person who's really good at making billions of dollars, okay? He's a hedge fund guy. And his imagination is there. They use data and all this stuff, but he goes into the imagination and he picks up, as he says, unfolding trends. He's rather absorbed. He says, I'm the master of the unfolding trends. And it's not just the data, because I can look at that data and think, wow. Okay? Now, there's a feeling, a felt sense arising. This felt sense is really fantastic. The experience of unfolding elementalness, the energetic vibrations, sublime vibrations, becoming forms and styles. So this is this phenomenological view of the horizon, and there's always some horizon, and you can feel where your imagination sometimes touches the horizon, and for that moment, the anima can't go any further. The anima, it just gets stuck in that. And then you shift to your mind to solve it, right? And you're doing all this stuff, and even less happens, right? You get located in a state of mind that's very frustrating, despairing. Then you give up on that again, and giving up, you'll fall back into perception. And then the horizon opens up, and the unfolding continues, just like the universe is always unfolding. These vibrations of appearance. Almost done. So imaginal awareness experiences the archetypical manifestation of the flesh, which we consider the Sambhogakaya realm, the realm of rapture. It's a great phrase, the rapture. The rapture. Like archetypical rapture, archetypical jouissance. So experiences the vibrational manifestations of the flesh, the elementalness. So ultimately, imaginal awareness experiences inside to inside. So it's not an outside thing. If I'm just trying to stare, really trying to and I'm just staring, and I get locked into that kind of one-pointed stare, then there's an objectification that takes place of myself and the otherness. So nothing happens. It's foreclosed by the gaze. So ultimately imaginal awareness experiences inside to inside the manifestation of phenomena. So one more step here. So in a certain profound way, imagination is clairvoyance. Don't get worried. We often touch the clairvoyant points, don't we? As we do some work with this point here, clairvoyant points. So clairvoyance means literally the capacity to see or to experience or know what is invisible. And then it becomes visible. But it's not becoming visible because I'm just simply conjured it up in my own mind, I'm just making fantasies up. Something can come up, but it's not the same power. So, the imaginal knowing can unite. And this is why it unites, at least look, one way I'm thinking. It unites the invisible with the visible, It connects presence and absence, where we started off. There's an intimate connection between presence and absence. Even in death, there's this most intimate connection between the presence and the absence. It is completely intimate. And as that intimacy arises and you hold the non-dualistic view and the dualistic view of you and I are indivisible, you're holding both presence and absence at that moment. That's what this talk is about. Holding both completely at the same time. And there's no splitting. There's no splitting. You know, you can go one route or the other, but you're actually holding the intensity of both at the same moment. Almost done. So, an activity and passivity, existingness in essence, oneness, separateness. That's the power of imaginal life. That's why artists live in the imaginal, right? It's a high aesthetic. It's a high aesthetic. So love itself is clairvoyant, right? I don't mean liking or disliking, but love itself is clairvoyant. And what does love perceive? Love perceives the radiance of phenomena. Whether I know about it or not, when I'm perceiving the radiance of phenomena, this must be love, right? Like that great song by the Jamaican, was it? Is this Bob Marley? Yeah, Could You Be Loved? Such a great song. Could you? So the radiance. That's why the mind sometimes isn't appearing anything. The mind can be critical, and yet the radiance of phenomena comes through nonetheless. Rongchenpa. Otherwise, that's pretty interesting, right? So, hope you can hope this teaching of Rongchenpa is really going to be great on Saturday, if you can do that. It's an infomercial, right? So, the flow of phenomena, the radiance of phenomena, the phusis, P-H-U-S. Phusis means you can feel the flow, you can feel the unfolding of it, right? You can feel the manifestation. We don't just see the manifested in our mind, we see the manifested as a it-like quality. But we feel the manifestation of phenomena as it's appearing and then disappearing. The elementalness is expression, whether it's fire, water, earth, air, energy, all these combinations, these configurations of the field. And so just as you and I have been followed language for the past year, arising, so does imagination give the experience of self-arising, of creating knowingness in activity. So I'm asking everybody to parallel those two processes we did, right? The language, and now we're trying to play it with imagination. So we're going to stop right now. We're going to sit just for a few minutes. As we see and experience for our whole body, we're now going to do a little geometry today. Okay, we haven't done it in a while. Okay, let's do a geometry, okay? You can sit right there if you'd like. And you can sit right here. And would you sit right here? And Robin, you can sit right in the middle. Do you feel okay with it? Yes. And somebody can sit right. If you don't feel well, don't sit in this little section, okay? So here we are. Spence is a person who has a very imaginal. He's a Jungian therapist, but and when he enters the imaginal function, and other people who do this exquisitely well, when you're describing your experience, it's not logical language. You can hear it logically, but that really, you're not going to hear when you hear the imaginal quality, then the resonance comes very strong. And part of what really supports our little group is the imaginal component of it. When people articulating experience or describing experience, that imaginalness really is part of it. You follow what I mean by that? Mm-hmm. You just think this way, you don't have to believe it. Articulating it through that perception. So it's not the logical mind that's talking at that moment. imaginal awareness, where gnosis and mind are in union. And the more mind and gnosis begets in union, and eventually they're totally non-dual experientially, then that is a great place of realization, right? Say yes if that makes some sense. Here, this paper I tell you about, you're just going to copy the title and the translation, and you can get it off of a surprising title, isn't it? Did you read it?
Yeah. Desiring violent sex with God.
Yes. It's great. It's great. If you want to read this, you can go to Catherine Thomas, Oxford University, on Academic EDU. It blends a lot of interesting things. Catherine Thomas, you got her name?
No, I don't.
You can take it and you can copy it. Okay? It's good to read stuff like this. It'll stretch your imaginal perception. It's actually sadomasochism in religion.
Yeah.
It's actually sadomasochism in religion, okay? But it's very positive. It's very freedom. It's going to be free, okay? Pain, suffering, and worship, right? Pain, suffering, and worship.
It's nothing personal. You just wanted me to have it. You saw something inside you.
And you're the only one
I see
that
something
needs to
inside
read
of us all. It's very close. If you read, it's very close. Pain, suffering, and worship. Really close. Tota tibi domine. That's how Karina Burana ends. You know Karina Burana? Call us. Tota tibi. I give myself to you. So anyway, maybe you would like to read it too. On Academic EDU, her name is Catherine Thomas. She's a very spunky person. She's very spunky. So here we are. What am I doing here? Total awareness. We'll focus on our companion, Marilyn. Had deep Gnostic roots in her, as many people in the seminar do. The love of gnosis, direct perception, the love of authorship, and the love of the imaginal function, the rapture. Experiencing some Bogakaya, the archetypical chemical forms. We'll focus on Marilyn and Skip. Connection. Initially. It was very wonderful. Raman Rao spoke to her on Sunday evening. A very beautiful conversation. And remember, at this point, starting to slip in and out of clarity and conversation. She comes on, she's totally clear. It's not just totally clear. And this sweet that's between the both of them, this sukha just emerged. And this rapture is quite beautiful. And then on the test, I'll pray for you as you close the gates. Beyond it. And then she dies on Thursdays, which is the day of the Guru, which is taking her. Saturday at her home is exquisite. Special light and energy. feels at a certain part of awareness, extension is not necessary when awareness is in its fullness. It's uncontained. So Laura, did you just press the button and number 4 will come on, and then you switch it to number 5, which is the hymn to Hanuman. Which is a very Krishna. Just press that little button, and it's usually stop the button.
Hare Hare,
So I'm going to go to 5.
Hare Rama, Hare
Look at
Rama,
the end.
Rama Rama.
Fantastic. I think we'll just let this play through. Thank you so This chant. Extend to wherever the camera is. So just focus on the past. Where she came as a child. Who
Nam Pavan Kumar,
she came.
Lavana Pavak Jnana Ghan, Rasu Hridayaga, Sahi Ram Sarachada, Atulita Baladhamam, Himashela Badeham,
The host of all the great compassion.
Ranucharan Krishan,
She's present. Gave herself.
Yaninam Gragan, Sakalagun Nidhanam, Vanaranam Tisham, Ragupati Priya Bhaktam, Vadajatam Namami, Goshpadi Kritavarisham, Nashiki Kritarakshasam, Ramayana Mahamalaratnam, Vande Nilatmajam, Anjana Nandanam Viram, Janaki Shokanachanam, Kapisham Akshahantaram, Vande Lanka Bhayankaram, Manojavam Marutatulia Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanrayotamukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Shri Ramadutam
Both the deity. and one of the
Sharanam Prapadye Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Bolo Bajrang Bali Hanuman
Take a
Ki
breath.
Jai.
And then the deity. Realize this process. Breathing.
Ajaloji Hanuman Ajaloji Hanuman
Manifesting.
Ajaloji Hanuman Ajaloji Hanuman Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raja
Impermanence
Ijamano Mukur Sudha
is not a really good word.
Arana Raghubar Vivala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhihina Tanu Janike Smiram Bhavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Bika Ajiloji Hanuman Vajiloji Hanuman Ajiloji Hanuman Vajiloji Hanuman Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Saga Jaya Kapishati Loka Ujaga Ramaduta Tulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikram Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi Kanchanavarana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Ata Vajra Dvaja Viraje Kande Muja Jane Usage Shankara Suran Kesari Nandan Eja Pratapa Mahajagamandan Vidyavan Gurniyati Chatu Rama Kaj Karibe Koatu Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Korasiya Rama Lakana Sita Manabasiya Sukshma Rupa Darisiya Hindikava Kata Rupa Darilanka Charava Ima Rupa Dari Asura Sanhare Ramachandra Ke Kaj Savare Aya Sajivana Lakana Jiaye Shira Kuvera Hara Shivaralai Ragupati Kinhi Bahota Barai Mama Priya Bharatai Sammabai Sasapadan Kumaro Jasagav Asakahi Shripati Kandalagav Sanekadika Brahmadi Murisa Arada Sharada Sahita Hisa Shamakubera Digapala Jahante Kabi Korida Kaisa Ke Kahante Maupakara Sugriva Inkina Rama Milaya Rajapadadina Umaro Mantra Vibhishanamana Lankeshwara Bhaya Sabadagadana Yuga Sahastra Jodhana Parabhanu Ilyotahi Madura Paladana Prabhu Mudrika Mili Mukamahi Jaladilangi Gaye Achara Janahi Durgama Kaja Jagata Kechete Sukamanu Grahakumarete Ramaduare Tumarakovare Votanagya Minopezare Sabasukalahi Tumari Sharana Tumara Chakakabu Kodarala Apana Teja Samaro Ape Inon Loka Hangatengambe Uta Pisachani Katana Hinave Mahavira Japanam Sunave Nasero Hare Sabapira जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीर संकट थे हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे सब फल राम तपस्वी राजा इनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा हे परसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो रघुपति के दास तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जन्म हरे भात कहाय और देवता चेतन धरई हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई संखत खते मिते सब पीरा जो सुमेरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करौ गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार बात कर कोई छूट ही बन्नी महासुख होय जो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा होया सिद्धि साकी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा ये जयनाथ हृदय मंदिर पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरणम मंगल मूर्ति मारुत नंदन सकल मंगल मूल निखंडन मंगल मूर्ति मारुत नंदन सकल मंगल मूल निखंडन श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम सीताराम 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 राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम सीताराम 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 श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Ram, Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Ram, Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Bhajalo ji Hanuman, Bhajalo ji Hanuman, Bhajalo ji Hanuman, Bhajalo ji Hanuman. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raja Ijamano Mukur Sudha Arana Raghubara Vivala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumiram Bhavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Bhika Bhajalo ji Hanuman Bhajalo ji Hanuman Bhajalo ji Hanuman Bhajalo ji Hanuman Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Saga Jaya Kapisha Tihun Loka Ujaga Kamaduta Tulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Bikram Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi Kanchanavarana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Ata Vajra Dvaja Viraje Kande Muja Jane Usaje Shankara Suran Kesari Nandan Eja Pratapa Mahajagamandan Vidyavan Gurniyati Chatu Rama Kaj Karibe Koatu Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Korasiya Rama Lakana Sita Manabasiya Sukshma Rupa Darisiya Hindikava Nikata Rupa Darilanka Charava Imarupa Dari Asura Sanghare Ramachandra Ke Kaj Savare Laya Sajivana Lakana Jiyaye Shira Kuvera Hara Shivara Lai Raghupati Kinhi Bahota Barai Numama Priya Bharatai Samabhai Sasapadan Kumaro Jasagavan Asakahi Shripati Gandalagavan Sanekadika Brahmadi Murisa Narada Sharada Sahita Hisa Makubera Digapala Jahante Kabi Korida Kaisa Ke Kahante Maupakara Sugriva Inkina Rama Milaya Rajapadadina Tumaro Mantra Vibhishana Mana Lankeshwara Bhaya Sabadagadana Yugasahasta Jojana Parabhanu Gilyotagi Madura Paladana Prabhu Mudrika Mili Mukamahi Jaladilangi Gaye Achara Janahi Durgama Kaja Jagata Kichete Sukamanugraha Tumarete Ramaduari Tumarakovare Votanagya Mino Pesari Sabasukalahi Tumari Sharana Tumara Chakakabu Kodarana आपन तेज समारो आपे हीनो लोक हांगतेंगाम्बे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं नावे महावीर जप नाम सुनावे नसेरो हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीर संकट थे हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जोड़ावे सब फल राम तपस्वी राजा इनके काज सकल तुम साज और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन पल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा हे परसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो रघुपति के दास मरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहां जन्म हरे भात कहाई और देवता चेतन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमेरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करौ गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पात कर कोई छूट ही बन्नी महासुख होय जो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा होया सिद्धि सखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा ये जयनाथ हृदय मंदिर पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरणम मंगल मूर्ति मारुतनंदन सकल मंगल मूल निखंडन मंगल मूर्ति मारुतनंदन सकल मंगल मूल निखंडन श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitaram 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 Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitaram 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan.